When you're ready to retire, it's all about what you let go of. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 8 things that you must sell before retiring. Retirement is a chance to reset, and a major part of doing that is shedding yourself of things that no longer serve you materially, financially, or mentally. If you ditch these 8 things that I'm going to share in this video, it will lighten the load considerably and enable you to get the most out of this exciting time of life. Every Saturday morning, my wife and I go to the car boot sale in York. She loves it. I'm not so sure. And the reason for that is I don't like what I see. And the thing that I see is big white Luton vans with house clearance emblazoned on the side. There's at least 10 of them that I've counted, and they are surrounded by people who are rummaging through brown boxes, and in those brown boxes we've got stuff. Now, you don't have to be a genius to work out what that stuff is. It's dead people's stuff. These house clearance people move in when people die or they go into care, pile all their stuff into boxes, and then they whisk them off to places like the York car boot sale. People like my wife look for bargains, look for treasure. I'm determined that won't happen to my possessions. I've been gradually giving away most of my stuff for the last 5 years since my wife and I downsized at 60 years of age. So far, I think I've got rid of about 75% of my stuff, and I'm still chugging away. I keep putting things away in a box. I've got a box under my desk just here that I throw things into, and if I don't use them in a few months, off to the charity shop with them, or even off to the skip. Occasionally I sell them on eBay. The one thing I don't want to do is to burden my son with the task of clearing out my house when I pass away. There's a side of me that hopes that it's me that'll be left standing and not my wife, because if my wife's left standing, she's going to be absolutely piled up with stuff, and our son is going to have a hell of a job on his hands to try and get rid of all the stuff that she's accumulated, because she's the absolute opposite of me. I've given away 75% of my stuff. She's kept most of hers. She's a bit of a hoarder, quite frankly. Anyway, enough of that rambling. Let's get into the 8 things that you must sell before retiring. Number 1 is the oversized home. The kids have flown the nest. You've got this big house that you brought them up in, and of course you're attached to it. It holds a lot of memories, so sometimes it can be hard to break free. Now, that's the position that I found myself in with my wife. That's how she felt about our home. We'd lived there for over 20 years, and that's where our son was brought home from the hospital. That's where all the happy memories were: Christmases, birthdays, garden parties, me playing cricket with him in the garden, playing football, driving to school. Everything was linked to that house. So of course it was a big wrench, but it was the best thing that we did. We moved into the city, and living in the city has just got so many more attractions than the big house out in the country that we once had. It's handy for just about everything. The doctor, the railway station, cafes, restaurants. We don't need as many cars. It's much cheaper to maintain. The benefits just go on and on and on. If you're in the position where you're still in that big house and the kids have flown the nest, now is a good time to sell. The second thing on my list, and that very much links to the first one, is cars. If you downsize and you move to the city like we did, you're not going to need as many cars. We didn't. We've managed with just 1 car ever since we moved to the city, and it's only recently that we've got a second car to allow my wife a little bit more freedom so that she can go whizzing off to see her relatives who live 20, 30, 40 miles away. But when we lived in the countryside, we had as many as 4 cars. I had some cars, my wife had a car, our son had a car. I mean, you need cars when you're living miles away from anything. Everything's a drive. You go to the shops, it's a drive. You go to the supermarket, it's a drive. To the train station, you have to go and park your car up, catch the train. You've got to drive. But living in the city, no more. The third thing on my list is unused toys. And the sort of thing that I'm thinking of here are things like golf clubs, bicycles, the lawnmower, all those fancy gadgets for the garden. I don't need those anymore. The strimmer, the electric hedge cutter, all those power tools, they've all gone. Now that I live in the city, I don't need anything at all. We've just got a small courtyard garden, and our house, you step straight onto the street. No more cutting lawns for me, thank goodness. You might have other unused toys, and I'd encourage you to take a long hard look at them. Do you need them? What have you got? Motorbikes perhaps? Perhaps you've got a few bicycles. Maybe you've got more than one set of golf clubs. Maybe you've got some surfboards. Whatever, I don't know. It's what's been your passion. It's whatever you've bought over the years. But now is the time to ditch the unused toys. Number 4 on my list is unworn clothes. Now that I've got a smaller house, I haven't got as much space to put my clothes. And what space I have got, as I've said earlier, my wife's more likely to take. So I've ditched all my clothes, as many as I possibly can. I only now have a much fewer number of good quality items. If you're anything like me, you probably got business suits, business attire. For me, it used to be a tie and a shirt and cufflinks and a tie pin and multiple pairs of shoes, brogues, half a dozen suits, at least one for every single day. Or in my case, I had one for every single day for 2 weeks. All of it's gone. As you approach retirement, you can get rid of it too. The other thing is, what about things like formal wear? A tuxedo. Who needs one of them? I used to go to lots of black tie events. I hardly go to any now. I have got a tuxedo still in the wardrobe. I must have bought it 20 years ago. I'll probably look ridiculous in it. It's probably got the big massive lapels that like you had back in those days. But the reality is that tuxedo, as soon as I get around to it, it's going to get rolled up and it's going to get put in the bag and sent to the charity shop. I can hire a tuxedo if I need one. Number 5 on my list is collections. One of the very first things I put up for sale when I knew I was moving house was my vinyl record collection. Yeah, I know. How can you possibly sell your vinyl record collection? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I didn't have a record player anymore to play it on because I ditched that. More about that later. But I sold my vinyl record collection on eBay and I was glad I did, because all it was doing was gathering dust on the shelves and not getting played. These days, I'd rather use a streaming service. And when I'm cooking food in the kitchen, I've got an Amazon speaker and I just shout out for the speaker to play my favourite 1970s playlist. The other thing that I got rid of is my football programme collection. I had decades of Leeds United programmes. You've probably seen in the background the Leeds United scarves. So yes, I am a Leeds United fan, a long-suffering one. I do actually remember the team in the good old days of Don Revie. When I was in business particularly, we used to go to see Leeds United play when they were in the Premier League back in the 1990s. And I always used to pick up a programme, bring it home with me, and then just put it in a box. And I ended up with dozens of them. These days, I only keep a few cherished ones from the cup finals that I went to back in the 70s. So what about you? What collections are you hanging on to? Sell them. They're probably going to be worth some money. Get rid of them. And if they're not, donate them. Now, linking to that, my 6th item, out-of-date electronics. And in particular, I'm thinking of things like vinyl record players, VHS players, DVD players. I know there's an element of them being back in vogue a little bit with the younger generation, but I'm in my 60s. I don't want to be in vogue or fashionable. It doesn't really matter to me. I'll happily listen to music on a streaming service instead. So the DVD player, the VHS player, all redundant and long since gone. The other thing that you should ditch as soon as you can is the mobile phone when you get a new one. Don't start hoarding phones, tablets. When I sold my house back when I was 60, I had loads of these things. Nokia phones, iPods, various ones that I'd picked up along the way. The latest iPod, I bought it. What did I do with the old one? Threw it into a drawer and left it. So I had a great time selling all these old iPods on eBay when I moved house. We've already talked about some of the gadgets that I've been able to get rid of relating to the garden. Lawnmower, strimmer, electric hedge cutter, and then kitchen gadgets. The latest kitchen gadget, I have to admit, I have just bought a new coffee machine. I've bought one of those fancy espresso machines, a Sage, or in America it's called a Breville, and I absolutely love it. But I didn't hang on to the old one. The old one was acting up a little bit. It went in the skip. One out, one in. Number 7 on my list is books. I have very few books. I've got about a dozen books, and that's it. I don't have any books anymore. However, what I do have is lots of books on the Kindle. And the other thing I do is I subscribe to Amazon's service Audible, and I listen to audiobooks. I like to go for a long walk, 5 miles, with my earphones in and listen to an audiobook. It's a lot easier than getting a physical book and walking along for 5 miles with a book in front of you, which I think you can't do really. Let's be realistic. Number 8, and the final thing on my list, is furniture. 20 years in the same house, boy did we gather a lot of furniture. Even though we managed to get rid of quite a lot of it before we moved house, we still had a lot, and this house is a little bit too cluttered even with furniture. But a smaller house in theory means less furniture. And think of it like this, the furniture that goes is the stuff that just isn't practical. Now that I'm older, I tend to like things that are comfortable. I'm not necessarily bothered about something looking fantastic and being hard and uncomfortable. I like a big, comfy chair. And you shouldn't be sentimental. Why be sentimental? You can't take these things with you when you go. And I've already said what's going to happen to them. Remember what I said about the car boot sale? The house clearance people are going to come in and take it all away. The only one sentimental item that I have still got, and again it's over in the corner in this office, is that I've got an old Victorian oak roll-top desk which my wife and I bought back in 1987 on a trip to Amsterdam, and that's just got memories. I'm not going to get rid of everything. The desk is still here and I really like it, but everything else is fair game. So those are my 8 things. But here's the thing, retirement shouldn't be a purge, just a reset. Letting go of things makes space for the things that really matter. And when you reach a certain age in life, in my humble opinion, those things should be experiences and spending time with family and friends, not accumulating even more stuff and keeping the house clearance people happy in about 20 or 30 years' time. So what are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Leave a comment below. Or do you disagree? Leave a comment below as well. I'd be interested to hear. What have you ditched, if anything? What are you planning on ditching? Share your opinions in the comments. Please join the conversation, I urge you. Now, if you found this video useful, you might want to watch this one next. It's the 13 things that are a total waste of money after 60. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.